here's the King Arms gas blowback rifle, and this is going to be the takedown guide for that, as requested. You'll notice on mine, I no longer have the front sight on it. I didn't have it in the other one, but now I have a real AR gas block on it that a buddy gave to me, which is great because it covers up all these nice little scratches that the previous owner of this had. So first recommendation I have is buy new. Don't buy used on something like this, because you never know how they're going to treat it. Okay. And something else is, this is the easiest gun to take apart I've ever seen. It's easier than my Smith & Wesson pistol. It's much easier than the KWA M93R, which is kind of difficult, really difficult to put back together. It's easy to take down, but it's hard to put back together. And it is easier than my real Ruger 22 pistol. That is a pain in the butt to put back together. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and show. First thing you do, as always, take out the magazine. Check to make sure that it's not loaded, of course. And it's not. You want to decock it. Alright. And you take it apart by the same way you would a real steel. You have two pins, one at the top, one at the bottom, which you can push out with your thumb to the end. Then use a screwdriver or something. If you don't want to scratch the finish, then I suggest using something like a pencil or a pen or something like that, but something hard that you can hit it with, because it does take a little bit of force, at least mine does. Go ahead and take it completely down for you. Alright, once those two pins are out, like that, then pop it open, and boom, you have two different parts. Now, in here, that's buffer tube, of course, and in there you can put all these little spacers. There's like 4 of them that comes with the gun, and one's already installed. With the other 3, it increases the rate of fire. Now all you gotta do is there's a little button right there, push it, you take that out. I'm not gonna do it. You take that all the way out, and you place them in there, going from smallest to biggest. With all 4 of them, it's like 15 to 16 BBs per second. It's pretty fast. I tried it today, and it was awesome. Let's put this down. Oh, all these components in here are really cool because you can upgrade them all with Western Arms, GMP. I forget what the other brand is, but Western Arms and GMP. It's Western Arms based gun. You can upgrade all these different parts in there with those brand internals to make them better. Which I've read that people recommend that. You lubricate with silicone oil just the moving parts. Just a little bit of lubrication on trigger mechanisms and on the bolt is all you need. Speaking of the bolt's right here. When it's open, you don't even have to take this completely off. You can just take the back pin out and it bolts down. And pull that out. Take the charging handle off. Then you have the bolt itself. There is this little piece right there, which you use like a flathead screwdriver or something. You just kind of push it right there, and it'll lift it up and knock it out. And that's a guide for the loader. The loader you have a little C-ring, C-clip down in there, which I use a flathead screwdriver and push against the two openings until it unhooks. Once it unhooks, I'll use a pair of tweezers or needle nose pliers probably. I use tweezers because it's small. Reach down and you pull it right out. Once you pull it out, you can pull the loader out, which is this. Now this is a different one than what's in here. I'm not going to take it out because it's hard to get that C-ring back in there perfectly. Again, when you get it back in, I found that a flathead screwdriver works great. It'll scratch up the bolt, the finish on the bolt, but it's the bolt. It gets scratched up anyways when it's being used. Okay, so you have the loader out. You need a very small poking mechanism, in this case an Allen key, and there's a small pin right there that you're going to have to push out. It's really can be tricky at times. Got the pin out. Then you get a block valve, and that you can just put right back in there. Then you have that. This one is the high flow valve, and this one is a low flow valve. It comes with a low flow valve installed. And so you want to put the, if you're doing this, you're going to be putting a high flow valve in, or vice versa, depending on if you're going to do a indoor CQB style game or not. And what you do is you stick the little prongs face down towards the opening, towards the valve opening. You drop it in. Then you'd have a triangular piece. It's a spring holder, and push it against the spring. And you drop that down in there with the plastic piece first. Then finally, I want to put this back in there. It only goes one way, as it's keyed. So then take your little lock rod mechanism thingy, and jig, and you put it back, and it's a little hole right there, and you're back together. Put it back into your bolt. Apply your C-ring using a flathead screwdriver to get it started, and then you push it all the way in on the other side, and it's set. You take your little lock, or guide, it's a guide, not a lock, you push it right in there, so this slides evenly, doesn't wobble around. Boom. Add a little bit of silicone, wipe off any cat hair you may have. I apply a little silicone to moving parts. You never know what's going to happen. Have this, take your bolt, or your charging handle, put it on top. Oh no, it's upside down. And drop it in. Then, lower half. Fit it right. Gotta make sure that this front one lines up right, so you can push it all the way down. This back one on mine gets stuck sometimes. few extra taps. And you're ready to go. Check to make sure the bolt works. Works good. And you're ready to go. So that's all it is to it. Again, it's very easy to take down, very easy to clean, easy to get back together. Not a ton of parts in it. The hardest, smallest parts are in this little piece, which aren't that terrible. Just watch out for small springs in here. You don't want to lose those. I took this off. It's the carrying handle. Just comes off. Again, the front sight is a bit difficult. You gotta make sure you take off the little Allen wrench, Allen key underneath of it before you move it. Otherwise, you'll scratch up your stop or scratch up your barrel. And unless you don't mind your barrel getting scratched up, then do whatever you want. Be careful when knocking out on the front sight. Knock out these little pieces because you'll end up having them like mine and have them all mushroomed out from the guy that had this before me because he didn't know what to hit it with. I don't really know what to hit it with either, but I know it's not what he used because this all mushroomed out. So that's it. That's with a real gas block on it. You can get upgraded foregrips, which I'm gonna get. You need an AR tool to take off the barrel to upgrade the inner barrel. Gotta have the AR tool or else you're not getting it off. The AR tool will also tighten up your buffer tube key, or I guess bolt, whatever it is, nut. And that was a moth. You can switch out the stock, which I'll probably do, and switch out the foregrip, which I'll probably do. I'll probably get a RAS foregrip or something for it in the future. This is one that I'm probably going to keep because I really like this. And so, any other questions, please let me know. This has been a takedown guide for the King Arms gas blowback rifle. Very easy to do, quick, simple, takes maybe 10 minutes to do. And now you know how to do it. Next up, again, still working on that EVIC versus EVIC, however you say it, I don't even know how you say it, versus Airsoft GI. That's what's coming up next. I promise you, I'll get that out. But there's a lot of stuff I gotta go through. So I'm still working on it. So, see you guys next time.